Are you the kind of person who runs marathons for fun? Have you ever taken part in National Novel Writing Month, where you try to write an entire novel in just 30 days? Do you take on challenges that your friends and family think are insane? Then this video is for you. I'm Abby, an English teacher here at Mosalingua, and today I'm breaking down 5 of the most difficult languages to learn. So, are you ready for a challenge? If you'd rather avoid the headache, we've also made a few videos about the easiest languages to learn, which you can find in the video description and on our channel. We post new free videos and lessons all the time, so be sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit that notification button for more language content. But if you're feeling courageous or are just curious about the hardest languages, keep watching. Just a quick disclaimer, any list of the most difficult languages is going to have a degree of subjectivity to it. Unlike our videos about the easiest languages for English, Spanish, or French speakers, I couldn't use a rigorous methodology to compile this list. There are just too many factors to consider. Instead, I've based my list off of personal observations and conversations with other language learners, and the languages aren't in any particular order. Now, there are over 7,000 languages in the world, and some of them are only spoken by a handful of people. Obviously, there aren't resources for the most obscure languages online, and if you have to travel to a remote corner of the earth just to find a native speaker, those languages are going to be extremely tricky to pick up. There are so many of them that we didn't include them on our list. On the other hand, about 50% of the world's population speaks one of just 20 languages. But just because a language is spoken by a lot of people doesn't mean it's easy to learn. Case in point, Mandarin Chinese. There are over 920 million native Mandarin speakers in the world, but it made our top 5 most difficult languages to learn. Take it from Mark Zuckerberg.
第三是普通话很难，我只说英文，但是我喜欢挑战。
So what makes it such a challenge? Obviously, its writing system and thousands of characters that look a lot different from the alphabet you're probably used to. When you inevitably come across a character you don't know, even looking it up in the dictionary is difficult. Plus, Chinese characters don't really give any clues about how a word is pronounced. Another thing that gives learners trouble is Mandarin tones. You already have certain word stress and intonation habits from your native language, and if you apply them to Chinese, your message is going to be all jumbled because there are very strict constraints in Mandarin. Listen to this example.
Ma, 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 ma.
Tricky, right? Thankfully, if Mandarin has piqued your interest, we have an app for that. We make Mandarin easier by teaching you the most useful words and phrases first, so that you can start communicating more quickly. We also have you focus on listening and speaking instead of getting bogged down with characters right away. And our app optimizes your studies with its spaced repetition technology. I'll link to it in the description so that you can get started learning Mandarin for free. Have you ever heard the saying, "It's all Greek to me"? It's a common idiom that people use as a reaction to something that is very difficult to understand. And there's some truth to it. Greek made our list of the top 5 hardest languages to learn. Quick fun fact, lots of languages have an equivalent of this idiom, and Chinese is actually the most common language cited. Do you know the formulation of this idiom in any other languages? Comment on this video if you do. So what makes Greek so daunting for learners? First things first, there's a whole new alphabet to learn. It's nowhere near as complex as Mandarin because it's still an alphabet and you might even recognize a few of the letters, but it'll still take some time to master. While the alphabet is doable with a little bit of study, spelling is another story. Like in English, one sound can be written many different ways, and even native speakers sometimes get tripped up. And finally, Greek is part of the Indo-European language family, but it's not directly related to any other languages. It's all alone in the Hellenic branch. That means that vocabulary is another big difficulty to take into consideration. Again, just because a lot of people speak a language doesn't make it easy. Modern Standard Arabic is the 5th most spoken language with just under 275 million total speakers. But this is a really interesting one because there are 0 first language speakers. And that's part of what makes it so difficult. Instead of learning modern standard Arabic first, people learn one of the 20 to 30 different regional varieties or dialects, which can be quite different. To give you an idea of the differences across dialects, here are 5 young people from 5 different Arab countries saying the same sentence.
بكم شريت الشنطة؟
على كم اشتريت الشنطة؟ بقد ايه جبت الشنطة؟
اشتريتي الشنطة بكام؟
بحال شريتي داك الصاك.
We love you, Morocco.
Modern Standard Arabic is considered literary Arabic, and only those who are quite educated speak it fluently. Some say that if you learn this variety, you can expect most people to understand you, but don't expect to understand most people you try to converse with. It's what you'll hear on the news, but not on the street. So if travel and authentic conversation is your goal, it's a good idea to pick up a dialect. And learning a dialect is often considered easier anyway. In addition to the issue of dialects, you'll also have to deal with sounds that don't exist in other languages. There are about 10 that don't exist in English, a different alphabet, diacritics or vowel markers that change the way words are pronounced, and a different direction of reading, among other challenges. Icelandic has an interesting history, and people have been fighting for linguistic purity since at least the 1700s. That means that instead of adopting loan words from other languages, they try to create new Icelandic words whenever possible. So most Icelandic vocabulary won't look familiar to you, though there are some cognates with English. Icelandic grammar is also a beast that you'll have to tackle at some point if you want to learn this language. It has over 70 noun declension patterns alone. Another thing that makes this language so difficult is that it's very irregular. You can get a feel for the pronunciation and vocabulary challenges of this language in this fun clip. Take a look.
Because that is my dad? Pappi. And you can rent a bílaleigubíl. Enjoy the drive on Hringvegurinn. Be mindful of malarvegir. And don't track on the moss. It grows back so slow. Like 70 years.
That was part of a song written to encourage tourism in Iceland, and it's aptly named the hardest karaoke song in the world. If only you could learn the entire language through song. And last on our list of the hardest languages to learn is Finnish. Unfortunately, knowing almost any other European language, even neighboring Swedish or Norwegian, won't help you because it belongs to the Uralic language family, along with Hungarian and Estonian. Finnish grammar is also notoriously complex. Finnish has a whopping 15 grammatical cases compared to just 3 in English. That's a whole lot of endings to learn. Even other languages that are known for having lots of cases pale in comparison. There are just 4 in German and 6 in Russian. Oh, and did I mention that Finnish has some extremely long words?
Lento, Kenoshi, Turbulenti, Motor, Akia, Pia, Kanaki, Ku, Pre, Sopi, Topias.
Lentokone, suihku, turbiinimoottori, apumekaanikko, aliupseerioppilas.
That's wild.
Granted, you probably won't ever need to say that one, but because Finnish is an agglutinative language, meaning that words are formed by sticking elements together, you do end up with some very long words, even in everyday vocabulary. Of course, various factors will make some of these languages easier or more difficult for an individual than others, such as if it is in the same language family as their native language, and how difficult it is to gain exposure to a language, though this is getting easier and easier by the day thanks to the internet. Some other difficult languages that could have made this list include Hungarian, Swahili, Navajo, Georgian, Farsi, Mongolian, and Korean. Are you in the process of learning any of these difficult languages right now? If you are, I'd love to hear about your experience in the comments. Is it really as hard as people say it is? Anyway, I hope you liked this top 5 ranking. That's all I have for you today. Happy learning and see you next time. Bye-bye. If you learned something new from this video, give it a thumbs up. Then, hit subscribe and turn on your notifications. Have a look around our channel for more hacks and tips. And if you're watching on another social media platform, like or follow our page. See you next time.